College. Today, I'm thrilled to join three interns from SEforAll who are going to be discussing sort of life at SEforAll and the various things they do within their roles. So I'll start off and ask sort of Irena, can you talk to us a little bit about your role and the various things you do day to day?
Of course. Thank you so much, Jack. And hello, everyone. My name is Irena Shaleva, and I'm from Bulgaria and Italy. Currently, I'm based in Abu Dhabi, and I work in SEforAll as a digital transformations intern. So my main responsibilities on a day-to-day are around merging together what we have in the already existing system, so how it has been built for the different fields and sectors within our organization, and finding new solutions that could be potentially very efficient for us in order to not only automate, but make the lives of people easier so that we can get to our goals faster, for example. So whether that is with IT software and hardware aspect, but also on the social skills of being able to assist people with a different kind of challenges that we can face on a day-to-day basis, whether that is with our potential challenges that they can encounter with their own computer, with the entire system, since we're managing different platforms at the same time. And I'll pass to Ines.
Thanks, Irena. So my name is Ines Dushime, and I'm working as an intern for the Universal Energy Facility program at SEforAll. And I'm on the implementation team, which is in charge of, implementing the Universal Energy Facility in the Francophone countries, so Madagascar, Benin, and DRC. So the whole concept of the UEF is like to provide result-based financing in forms of grants to the developers that have achieved like certain milestones. So they basically like connect customers or residential houses, businesses, and then they claim the grant to the UEF with proof of the connections that they have made, and then we like kind of process the whole grants, and then we can disperse to them. So it's basically what I'm doing on a daily basis, if I may say. So yeah, I'll pass it to Julian.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Julian. I'm from Colombia, and I have been an intern here at SEforAll for the last 4 months. I joined the team in December, and I have been working for the Integrated Energy Plan team, which basically what we focus on is in energy system models, which relies a lot of Python and geographic information systems. So we have a lot of information out there. And basically what we aim is to find what is the best way to electrify unelectrified areas based on information that is on the cloud, or information that it's that we collect through the years. In the day looks like that basically programming. So I receive a lot of information. I have specific tasks, and the aim is to make it as good as possible and as fast as possible. Because yes, as you know, there are many unelectrified places. And if we want to run, for example, an algorithm to try to find out what is the best cost or what is the best solution, we don't have to do it just only one time, but I don't know, 5,000, 2,000 times. So the idea is to test those algorithms and to try to find a way or a compromise that we have an overview of what could be the better output, and do it computational fast. And yeah, I will come back to Jack then. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. It's really great to meet you all and learn a little bit more about what you're doing within your roles, and what your roles are sort of all about. Sort of the next question that I have for you guys is, what are some of the things that you've done in your career so far to get to the position you're in today? So that could be, a learning opportunity or a university degree, for example. So I'll start off with Irena and ask you.
Thank you, Jack. So one thing that I've come to realize was very useful in my case is that I started with my bachelor in international sciences for cooperation and development, which had a specialization with sociology and economics from the University of Turin in Italy. And I think that what helped me a lot was from the beginning being able to participate in student movements or international organizations that would encourage and enhance moving around Europe, for example, like in my case, and doing Model UN. That would give us the chance to exchange and apply what we have been studying, like international relations or sociology, for example. But I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to find a bridge, let's say, between the social sciences and the STEM field, so the science field. And I decided to do 6 months at the University of Maastricht in the Netherlands, where I decided to study data science and artificial intelligence in order to be able to have the social skills to understand what are the challenges that we are facing nowadays in the global world, like, for example, the SDGs, and being able to help them from a scientific perspective. And after that, I've also encountered another opportunity, which was offered by the University of Oxford, but it was accessible to different young people around the world, and it was the Global Youth Climate Change Training. And that is what made me want to focus even more on specific SDGs and wanting to work with them, and especially wanting to find an organization like the one that I'm working today that focuses on giving equal access to sustainability to people in places that are rural and that are sometimes, most of the times, excluded from the chances that we may have, for example, and take for granted in Europe. So to summarize, I would say combining both the academic training and learning, of course, with bachelor's, master's, and different kind of additional training that you can do that are 1 week or a series of weeks, and also applying them and doing exchange programs, or even, like in this case, a webinar, and participating are essential, in my opinion, to being able to be where I am today. Thank you. I will give the floor to Ines.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Irena. So for me, I studied information and technology at the university. And then my first job after the university was with the Africa Solar Industry Association. So it was mostly, I wasn't required to have, such knowledge, like big knowledge on the renewable sector, but more like applying the IT kind of, skills to the job. So which was mostly about maintaining some of the databases at the company, and kind of like information sharing and should I say storing and updating kind of thing. So I worked there for like 3 years. But prior to that, I wasn't aware of anything related to energy. But then as I worked there, I would say that I grew up in a way. Like I came to learn more about the sector. I came to like meet many people that are, doing so many things in the electrification for Africa. So I was never aware of that, but I came to learn and saw the impact that this was bringing to the African continent. And that was when I kind of started to be more interested in the energy sector. So after like a certain period of time, I was like, so how can I even learn more, like understand more of what's going on in the energy sector in Africa? So I wanted to do something similar to what I'm doing now, but I wasn't really sure by then. So I took I think a project management course. And when I took the project management course, I took it for like 6 months or 8 months or so, and then after that, so it was like by chance or by the network, the force or the ability of networking, I came to meet some people, and then I got this job, the internship at the SEforAll. So for me, it was like kind of practicing more the project management side of things. And also combined with the other knowledge that I had gained in the renewable energy sector for the past 3 years. So for me, this was like the perfect opportunity to understand, the private sector, how the financing works, how the projects are exactly being deployed, because we are also working with the developers. Like everything was kind of like coming together. So yeah, I would say that that has been my journey so far, and it has been very interesting. And yeah, over to you, Julian.
Thank you, Ines. Thank you, Irena. That was really impressive, I must say. So I started my journey 8 years ago, or even before, when I started to study at university. I had the privilege to go to a public university in my country, which I must say is not easy, and it's not the case for many people. There I studied electrical engineering without any like a clear idea of what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go of what I wanted to do, because it's like I was not or with my head clear about what was coming. But I did it because it was fun and it was a good opportunity. When I finished, I engaged in a part of the public sector in Colombia that is related with the energy sector. So it was the Ministry of Energy, but it was a part of it that focuses on rural electrification. Because as many African countries, in Colombia, there is still some part of the population who lacks access to electricity. And in this unit, we were focused on assessing rural electrification projects. And that's what's when it comes to me, this idea or this first experience that there are people in the world that don't have electricity. I grew up in a city, and yeah, it was the first time that actually I think and I reflect about it. And I really like the work there. I was there for about 4 years, where I gained a lot of soft skills to engage with different stakeholders and also to defend positions, which I think is sometimes important. But my main, as a personal aim, was to study abroad. And I believe in institutions, because institutions that are being held, they have been there to help me somehow, sometimes. And I applied for a scholarship in Germany, which is also a good opportunity if you don't have the money at the moment, or if you don't have the chances. I think there are institutions that can help you up to reach some goals. So I applied for a scholarship in 2019, and I get it granted in 2020. I went to Germany. I studied a master. I also had the chance to get some hands-on experience in what I'm doing right now while I was working or I was studying in Germany, which was related somehow with the things that I'm doing right now, not focused on SDG number 7 or in this part of the sector, but some sort related with energy modeling. My advice would be, like at university, I was also involved in some investigations or groups for investigation, which aim was to try to find solutions. I think that also gives you a good idea of good engagement and also a good background to hands-on to work on. And then the public sector also allows me to have a better overview of how is the energy sector, and that gives me also good background in professional experience to back up my application with the German institution. And then after I finished, I applied for SEforAll, because I was always following this kind of institutions in LinkedIn that focuses on SDG number 7. And as soon as I see that there was a chance to get or to apply for an internship, I did it. And yeah, that was another process. Thank you, and I will come back to Jack.
Thanks, guys. It's really great to sort of learn more about the various things you've done in your career so far to get to the position that you're in today. The next question that I'd have for you guys is, what does a typical day in the life look like for you? So yeah, Irena, I think I'll head over to you and ask you that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack. So I start the day with different points on my agenda. I have, of course, like everyone else, there are lots of meetings, because the good thing about our organization, one of the many things that I like, is that everyone is based in different parts of the world. So we cannot, unfortunately, always have a coffee and a meeting in a room, but we have meetings for that. And it's a good way to catch up and be aligned on the different goals that we're pursuing as a team. Apart from that, I have some, there is a certain pattern in IT. So there are tasks like the offboarding and the onboarding of new joiners or people that are finishing their contract, which happens with a specific frequency. And that's part of the pattern that I encounter. But also what I really like is that there are moments where there are new kind of challenges that haven't been presented themselves before. So it's almost like for me, you're solving a puzzle and you're investigating what is a potential cause. Sometimes it's the SharePoint or the OneDrive that we're using on that specific computer. So it's very stimulating because you get into the challenge, and it's very rewarding once you manage to solve it. And also what I really like is that so there is this idea that, you know, IT or whoever is tech savvy is on another dimension compared to people that have their own things with economics, for example, finance or different departments, because each is a master of their own field. But what I like about my job is that I get the chance to involve people in the bubble of IT, so that at the end, not only we solve the issue, but also they know a bit more, so they're a bit included, and I know a bit more about their specific field where they are working. So it's a very nice exchange. It's not only about problem solving, but also learning from each other. So at the end of the day, I know more about what they're working on and they know more about what I'm working on. So the next time, it's even better, than we can also grow and move together as a team and within this interlinked system with also the other departments. So this is what I like the most about my day-to-day work. And I pass the floor to Ines. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So what my day looks like at the UEF. So it's mostly, like my colleague just mentioned, mostly about the meetings most of the time. But meetings could be with the team members, or it could be like with the grantees. So like I mentioned, the UEF provides result-based financing to developers. So we have a number of grantees that already are benefiting from the program. So my day-to-day work is mostly about following up with them, because there are like a lot of process, like there's a whole process that is kind of that they go through to be able to claim the grants. For example, like they have to build the mini grids, they have to deploy those systems, they have to connect the customers, they have to deal with some regulatory issues at some point, or there are some delays, or projects are probably performing as planned. So they're like all like a set of verification that happens in between. So I help kind of verifying that everything has been done correctly, or if the UEF needs to come in and probably assist developers with I don't know, talking to the governments, or, talking to some of the financiers, talking to the procurement teams or companies. So it depends on, what is the request, but it's basically constantly talking with the grantees and the team as well, to constantly adjust as well, because what's going on in Madagascar is always different from what's happening in Benin or what's happening in DRC, and all the projects are on different stages of the implementation. So I do the follow-up of all the different activities that are going on in all those countries, and then with the help of my team as well. So at the same time, I'm learning as well, because this is new to me, so it's like I'm kind of practicing my project management skills that I learned. So I'm learning and working at the same time. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. Lots of meetings, email exchanges, and constant like discussions and conversations with different stakeholders. Yeah. Thanks. Over to you, Julian.
Thank you. Yeah, they how looks like I do sit a lot in front of the computer, to be honest. Most of the tasks are related with script writing and the use of geographic information systems. So I have to handle a lot of data and plot it out in software and see what makes sense and what if I wrote down if I get some good results or not. I can just tell you one example from project that we have right now. Is that there are softwares that estimate how much does it cost the distribution grid and for some locations. And the problem is that it has been mainly done by one approach that is underestimates the final output. So the idea was to build out something that allows us to have more granularity in terms of a number of poles, number of lines, number of distribution, grids, number of trunk lights, and so on. So that at the end we have a more a strong solution or a more robust approach. And we can say, okay, then at the end of the day, the LCOE for that location is that much, and then the investment costs are that much. So we can have, or we can, or other stakeholders can have better decisions. So those are the kind of improvements that I'm helping within my team. And it's very excited. It's very excited to support and to make use of all of the tools that I just mentioned, because it makes fun. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, guys. It's great to learn more about your roles and the various activities you have to do day to day. I think we're going to move on to some questions from the chat. And the first one we have is, what has been your biggest achievement to date in your career? Irena, I'll start with you.
Oh, that's a very, very deep question, a very good one. I'm going to assume that it could be specified to the where I am right now, to this moment, I could say. And it's the result of, first of all, being able to speak about working at a company that deals with one of the most important SDGs, for the reason that it's not to be taken for granted that everyone has the same access to what we think should be granted, which is electricity, clean water, clean cooking, clean cooling, education. And it's, I think, an achievement and a blessing, and also the result of a lot of hard work, by the way. And it takes a village, because one cannot do it alone. As Ines and as Julian have mentioned, it's the places where you studied, the people with whom you exchange your experiences, how much you put yourself out there, having the courage to show up, not as a perfect academical person, because we're at the beginning of our career, which I imagine also the people that are listening are at the beginning of their career and would like to know more. So it's important to show up and to learn and to put yourself out there and to challenge yourself and to learn also from the people around you. So for me, my biggest achievement is being able to be here today into this moment. And it's very important because it's not to be taken for granted. And you learn to evolve a bit like a Pokemon, because you start from university and you're like, oh my God, I'm either a PhD, Nobel Prize, or I'm not good enough for this, because there is a lot of high standards that we have to meet as young people in the job market and in the academic and career field. So it's good to learn that it is possible to achieve your goals. It is possible to if you don't have privilege, you can find access. There are chances for people, and I think that we are the proof that it is possible. It is very difficult, but it is possible, and you can definitely achieve your goals or your dreams, or just get to the point where you want to in life. It's possible. So I would say being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I would say that the biggest achievement for me is actually understanding what it takes to connect one person, like having like a successful one connection at least. Understanding the whole concept behind the electrification of one household, for example. understanding everything that needs to happen, all the different should I say sectors, and the roles that they play for one connections to come live. So I would say, because I always wanted to understand this, like I had mentioned in my previous role, it was more of dealing with information and having all the knowledge about the sector, but understanding exactly what it takes to electrify, like a whole village, it has been like one of the biggest achievements, at least for me, and mostly like seeing the results. We can see that the work that we are doing is actually impacting people's lives. You can see that that one connection has changed a lot into people's lives, like either like socially, economically, they're safe, they're making more money, it affected a lot of, people's lives. So for me, this has been like a very big achievement. And now I understand exactly how it can be replicated, how it can be done in one country, in the other country. I understand that it changes depending on where you're working, but at least the concept is the same. So I'm aware of what it takes now. And yeah, I'll say that's the biggest achievement for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ines. I think that's a tough question. I will frame it within my professional career, and it has been to finish the master degree in Germany, and it was because it was a personal challenge. And on all of the bubbles that I belong to, I was not that like I was very privileged to go through public university and then to study abroad and then to have all of this. When you see the dots behind it, you see that some sort of make of sense. But at some point, I also lost some hope. I think that's also part of the way. And the second biggest achievement, but I would like to frame it within the biggest achievement, is to having been part of the public sector, of the energy public sector, and to have helped in rural electrification projects. And here now SDG or SEforAll in the frame of the SDG number 7, because it gives some purpose to the career or to the bachelor that I decided to study. And that back in the days I didn't have any idea where to go with it. And now that I have, or I feel that I can help somehow with my skills and so on, that feels really nice, and it's really it's a really nice feeling, I must say. Thank you, Jack.
That's brilliant. Thanks, guys. The next question we've had in is, where do you see yourself in your career in 5 years? And then I'd like to add on my own questions to that. How are you actually trying to get there? What are the things that you're doing to actually achieve it? Thanks.
I love these questions. They keep getting more and more challenging. So I see myself in I think that especially now that we have a new era of AI, and it kind of, especially after the pandemic, I don't know if you guys share the same feeling, but I feel like after the pandemic, everything is on part two, when you speed the video. Like, I feel like our lives is very speed up, and it's changing constantly, and these changes are presenting themselves from one day to the other. And if I go back to 5 years before, I would have never seen myself being here. And it's more common to not know where you will be in 5 years than to know it. I'm very happy for people that already know it. But for the rest of us, it will still work out. And I'll tell you why. Because I heard this quote that says that when you don't know exactly where you're going or where your future will bring you, that's not a problem. You just look at your feet and you take one step at a time, one feet in front of the other, and you'll get out of the woods or wherever you're stuck at. And I believe in this philosophy of living, and it has brought me to very good results in being here today, even though I didn't know where I'll be in 5 years. The exact location, the exact company, the exact role, unfortunately, I cannot tell you. And also, I don't want to spoiler myself the surprise. But what I know for sure and is that I'll put the enthusiasm, the purpose that I think that I share with my colleagues from what we just shared today. This is something that I will make sure with all of my energy to have also in 5 years. To listen to myself when I like something that I'm doing, like the job where I'm at, the things that I'm studying, the combining social sciences and IT and programming, making sure to do what I like to do because it will give good results not only to me, but I'll be able to help the world with small but significant action. And this is something that I see myself in 5 years, keeping this sense of purpose, keeping the sensitivity, the awareness for trying to do my best for myself and also for the others that are around me. This is where I see myself in 5 years. I'll give the floor to Ines.
Yeah, thank you. So for me in 5 years, I'll say that for now, I think that I'm on the right path. So I would say that this is exactly where I wanted to start from. So in 5 years, I see myself like managing some bigger programs, still working into some international organization to impact lives on my continent and probably beyond. But small steps first. So I see myself working with bigger teams or probably leading bigger teams, but still in the same field, like what I'm doing now. But I believe in 5 years, I will have more skills to be able to manage, such projects or programs. And then I'll be having more knowledge. I'll be like, more connected. I think everything that I have now will be like, amplified or maybe would be better in 5 years for me to take up the bigger roles of where I am at the moment. So I'll say same path but better. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, tough question. I honestly don't know. 5 years is a long time, a long period of time. What I would like is to become a data scientist because it's really I really like to have this approach to analyze things and to come up with ways to find what could be the best and to explore scenarios and to dive into such kind of things. What am I doing for that? I think that was also part of the question. And the advice that I could give you is to be constant. It's not about doing all the work at once, but just to keep it constant each day, step by step. And then at some point you will look back and see, like you work for it, and then it's paying off at some point. Yeah. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, guys. That's really great to hear. We'll take one more question, and it's sort of around what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to get into, your current internship position at SEforAll?
So what advice would I give for someone who would like to get into the internship? Would be, as also Julian said before, choose the institutions, the organizations that you like, and you follow their work on social media, on LinkedIn. So make sure to keep an eye on the vacancies, and this is the formal aspect. The informal is to, of course, attend webinars like the ones where you can see more in depth and hear from people. So talk if you have the chance to the people that are working in this specific company to know more about what is this, the different role, for example, that you would like to cover. And then this comes to my mind specifically. If you, because it's very challenging and competitive. I remember that for, at least I can tell from my position, we're in my department, we're 2 interns, and there were 1,000 applications at that time. My suggestion is when you apply, don't look at how many, because on LinkedIn it tells you there are 1,000 people applying. I learned that there were 1,000 people after I got accepted. And before that, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you like social sciences, you like this specific SDG, and you also do different. They have this background. Why don't you apply to this company?" Okay, cool. I'm going to apply. Don't get in your own way by being like, "Oh my God, there are 1,000 people. They're better than me. They have a better background." All of those people are excellent young professionals, you included, though. So when you're applying, do this magic trick, like close your eyes, forget about all of the people that are applying. And for a second, have also a sense that you deserve to be there and to have a seat at the table as much as the next person that is applying. It helps. It definitely helps because you see yourself, you have this vision of being part of this organization, of contributing to this organization. This is very important, and it will be reflected also in your application when you write your motivation or when you do your interview. There is a difference when you keep in mind how many people are applying and you get under pressure and you're not yourself that much, as when you're just applying it because you want to challenge yourself, because you would really want to be part of this organization, and that will pay off. And if you don't get accepted, don't give up, because I have a case of a person that I know that didn't got accepted the first time, and she is looking forward to apply the next time that there's an open call for vacancies. Don't think that because you didn't got accepted the first time, you're not good enough for this program or you should never do it again. There's some very famous people in MBA or whatever that got rejected so many times and then they got accepted. So don't give up. Keep an eye on the vacancies and don't think about how many people are applying. That it won't do you any good. I'll give the floor to Ines.
Thank you. So for me, I would probably say 3 things. I would like classify it into 3 things. So one is like having clear clear vision, or make it clear and specific where you want to be. So if you want to work at SEforAll, make sure that that's what you want. And you don't need to have SEforAll as your only option. So I'm taking SEforAll as an example, but there are so many other great organizations. So you can pick up you can have like your top list. And then after that, be positive again. So you never know, what's probably going to come at some point. But you have to stay positive. So if it's not working on that organization, it's probably going to work on the other. And if it's probably not working at SEforAll now, it's probably going to work next week. So you don't know. So you have to be positive. And in the meantime, my third point is work on yourself. So work on your skills, work on your knowledge so that when that opportunity comes up, you stand out, right? So give it time, work on yourself, whatever, for me, when you define exactly where you want to be, you know exactly what it takes to get there. So in the meantime, while you're waiting to get there, work on yourself, learn the skills required to be there, learn the knowledge, network maybe to know exactly. Maybe if you know someone from SEforAll or the other organization, you would probably need to understand or to hear from them how things are done at SEforAll, like what would be the requirements, and then you can, include it into your plan. So keep working on yourself while you're waiting, stay positive and have it clear exactly where you're probably willing to be in, a certain period of time. So that would be my advice to you, because that's what I've been doing from the past years since I kind of finished university, and it's the same that I'm doing for now. I'm like, I know exactly that I want to work for organizations similar to SEforAll or other programs that are helping the electrification in Africa. So I know what are the requirements, and I'm constantly working on that, either at SEforAll or on the other side. So yeah, I would advise to do the same because it has worked, and I believe it should work for anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. What I would do if I want to work here, well, we will try to check out all of the requirements and see how can I fit better in them. Regardless of it's for SEforAll or for any company, what they usually do is that they have this list of requirements and then they start thinking if you already full of some of the tasks. If you really want to work here, then here where you have to collect this experience somehow, no? Otherwise, I would like to say that you shouldn't close your minds towards or be biased towards one particular place. I have also done things that I really didn't enjoy, but was also part of the journey, no? So I know that I want to be here as well because I try out some other things that I really didn't like or that I really didn't feel. And that also helps me to realize that I want to be here because it gives me some purpose and it gives me some overview of what I want to be as a professional. So just try to feel or try to have all of this experience. If it doesn't work, if you see that maybe it's not fitting, then follow as many pages or try to find what moves you into the energy sector. There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of things to do, and all of them, they are really, really interesting. So it's also a matter of what you want to do, where is your passion, where your heart is lying, and just go for it in the proper time. It will come. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you so much, everybody, for this morning. It's been great to learn about your experience. To everybody watching, please remember to tune in on Thursday, where we're going to be diving into the internship program with somebody from HR at the company. So watch out for that. And guys, I'm sure everybody can connect with you on various social platforms, including Beyond Privilege. And yeah, thank you so much this morning, guys.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.